You're listening to Paisal, a true rom-com with Paige and
Jessal,
good morning, Jessal, or afternoon.
morning. Oh, look, just losing track of time.
It occurred to me that we don't have an opening song or jingle.
Oh no. Does that mean you're gonna make one or you're gonna
This is Paisal, a true rom-com. Yeah, break it down.
No, that wasn't catchy.
Oh, what about this?
No, that me saying it's not catchy doesn't mean I'm asking for more.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes,
Because I can sing more.
I know you can.
In the last episode, we went over some of the circumstances of moving in together to where we live now, 2 years later, almost 3 years. And that was early 2020. And we had no idea what was just around the corner. So I think there are three things to talk about on this episode. Two that are kind of like a 2-for-1, two very different family events. And the third one / just the second one, depending on how you look at it, is a little getaway. So
I have no idea which ones you're talking about.
One of the phrases I hear most often, one of the things I hear most often, one of the phrases I hear most often from Jessal, apart from I love you, is I have no idea what you're talking about. Would you agree?
Maybe. There's a few things I think, but I don't keep a track of what I keep saying.
Maybe you could share like what you think your top 5 are with the audience.
I think I say, what are you talking about? Top 5? Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, moving on. That didn't go very well.
I think the what are you talking about is probably the top one.
Apart from I love you.
But maybe I say, what are you talking about more? Because it just comes up more. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but it is a thing.
I think I hear that phrase from you more than I hear it from anyone else because I'm more myself when I'm around you. And I'm just a little bit different. How I perceive the world is quite different to the average person. But anyway, that's not what we were talking about. When we had planned out that we're going to move in together, I was quite anxious about how that might go. Being the person that I am, I planned a potential solution, which was after a month of being together, we had a trip.
We went to Adelaide.
Yes.
It was a very good trip.
Yeah.
We went to a lot of food places. You showed me around the library. Was it a library? Yeah, the library.
Yeah, Mortlock Wing, I think, which is super old wing of the State Library of South Australia.
We took the free bus everywhere. The tram. It was an eventful first day of sightseeing. We got a jumper for you, a good jumper. I don't know where it is now. You haven't needed to use it for a while.
Well, it's been summer for like half a year.
Not yet.
I have just been feeling the heat a lot more in the last 6 months or so. I think because I put on like 10 kilos and I think that has just contributed to me feeling the heat a bit more.
Maybe. That's a legitimate reason.
Yes.
You don't want me to give the reason why?
Why I put on weight?
No, why you're feeling hot.
Okay, Jessal, why am I feeling hot?
I'm not going to say. You already know the answer, so I don't have to say it.
How can you do this to the audience? They're like, what's going on? We have no idea. What are you doing?
Sure. Well, they can keep thinking that.
Yeah. We had a few funny experiences in Adelaide. It was the Fringe Festival, which is an annual festival of music and theatre and maybe other things as well.
Yeah, heaps of stuff.
Yeah. So, for example, there was a public outdoor group karaoke.
They had on a sandy thing.
Yeah, they kind of had these big bollards with microphones and a big screen with lyrics.
Was it sand?
And they had music.
Was it on this grass? Was it on sand?
I think it was on sand. I kind of wanted to get involved, but at the same time, I didn't want to really join in front of everyone and be able to see people in real time looking at me weirdly because my singing was out of control.
That's a good word for it.
We also had a funny experience with breakfast where we had been watching an Australian TV show called Utopia. I think in series 3 and 4, there was an actor in it who wasn't in the first 2 seasons, and we were sitting down having breakfast at a place near where we were staying, and I looked up and I'm like, oh, that person looks really familiar. Do we know them? Do you remember who it was?
I know his first name is Dilshan something.
I don't know his surname either, but yeah, that's his name. And it turned out that he was doing a show in the Fringe Festival, and it was kind of cool seeing him there. Just someone we had recently discovered in a show, seeing them in real life just by chance. And then the following day, I think it was the following day, we traveled like an hour across.
Well, we were in North Adelaide City.
Yeah, we went to North Adelaide from wherever we were. I think we were kind of inner south, and he walked in to the exact same place where we were having brunch that day too. I didn't say hi.
Either time.
Sometimes I do, but most of the time I kind of want to, but then...
Well, he was wearing headphones.
Oh, yeah, he was wearing headphones at least one of the times. And definitely if I see someone wearing headphones, for me, that's... don't go there. Leave them alone. They're actually actively trying to be unapproachable. I mean, I use that sometimes. Hasn't always worked, because people have come up to me and done the action of, hey, take out their earphones, and then they've said explicit stuff to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again.
What?
Not with you around.
What do you mean?
When I'm walking around by myself and a guy will come up and he'll say something really inappropriate. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, okay. I thought they just come up and swear at you.
No, worse than just swearing. Anyway, because it was the Fringe Festival, there were so many cool things around. There was this painted, I think it was part of the Fringe Festival, this painted piano, really brightly painted piano just sitting out in the public, and you could just play it.
Well, I think it might have been for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. Wow. It was Valentine's Day and the Fringe Festival. I guess maybe that is when it occurs. Yeah, because it's the Fringe Festival again right now, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know if it's still going. I guess it's for a month or something, or a couple of weeks.
I have no idea.
Oh.
One day I would love for us to go back to Adelaide. And I think when we go on our train trip from Adelaide to Darwin or vice versa, we'll have a bit of time either side exploring those cities. Darwin's lovely. Looking forward to introducing you to Darwin. We had some pretty cool food. Actually, we had really good Indian food in Adelaide. Well, we had interesting Indian food mid-trip.
Was that the
where we went
fine dining Indian restaurant? Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like blue cheese naan.
Yeah.
I've never seen blue cheese naan since on a menu.
No.
And it was new to me at the time. So that's the only time I've ever had the opportunity. Unless we made it ourselves, which
I don't think I trust either of us.
Yeah. I would put too much cheese, and I don't even know what you would do.
Take it off? I don't know.
Yeah, and the last place was it like Raj on Hut or something?
Raj on Taj, or Taj on something.
I thought it was on Hut Street, so I thought Hut was in the title, but maybe that was the place where we stayed.
No.
Something I wonder about is, as someone who's listening to the podcast, is it frustrating hearing us wonder about things that we could quite easily look up and verify on our phones, but we choose not to?
Yeah, that's what comments are for, which no one reads.
I'm very rarely feeling in the mood to read comments, especially on my own work. I have unfortunately read some very terrible things about myself or to me over the years, and just usually I'm not feeling up to chancing it.
What have you done to the connector?
What connector? Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
So Jessal is pointing out I've got a USB-A to USB-C converter, because the microphone that we're using is USB-A, but we've run out of USB ports, or ordinarily have, except that one on the other side just freed up this morning when it was. Anyway, so usually I have to have that converted thing, and it's a white one, but it is very dirty. It's very grimy because it was sitting in my sensory kit for a year or so. And in my sensory kit, I have occasionally had little cuttings from plants in there, so it can get a little bit messy.
Cuttings? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you just stuffed them in your bag.
Well, my sensory kit is in my bag, so
Yeah, but I didn't think you'd put it in another bag inside your bag.
I have bags inside of bags inside of bags in my backpack. I do quite enjoy a bag. In fact, a funny doctor appointment I've had in the last year sometime was I had some time before the appointment and I found a cool little clutch, just a very flat clutch, bit bigger than the size of a passport, that has the name Paige on it, which is my name, and it says, "I can and I will. Watch me." I thought this is excellent for putting my prescriptions in here because I get prescribed a few different things and it will keep them nice and flat and safe, especially if I've got cuttings in my bag or if, I put food in my bag or anything like that and it spills out, which happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned up to the doctor that day and I was told, "Oh, by the way, we can do an e-script now. So we can text you a link." And I'm like, I pulled the clutch out and I said, "But look, I just got this today to put my prescriptions in." So specifically for that reason, I got one of my scripts as an e-script and one of them as a printed one, just so that I could use that bag.
And they could do both, can't they? Can't they just send you an e-script as well as give you an...
I think
Or is it
the
just
problem
one
with that might be that each time you get the script printed, it has the number of repeats on it.
Mhm.
So you don't want to have a printed copy that says you've got 4 repeats left when you've used the e-script and you've actually got 2 left. So I think it needs to be a one or the other thing.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing, as they say. I don't know if that's the correct use of that.
I think it is.
Well,
Maybe.
I was just spitballing. Whatever the
Okay, just because
means.
you think you're saying the right thing doesn't mean you need to repeat it.
Me. You're listening to Paisal, a true rom-com. Yeah.
That sounded like something.
Oh no. I hope I'm not infringing copyright.
I have no idea.
Is there anything else exciting? Oh, I did want to say I was shocked and appalled. By the public toilets.
Oh, right. Yes.
I don't really like public toilets at the best of times, but I was going around and there was a situation where I very urgently needed to use a toilet, and the toilets that I had access to were so bad that I'm like, I can't use this one. Let's go find another one, And anyway, it did not end up well for me. I did eventually find one in a shopping center that I was able to use. And
I mean, they looked high tech, but
yeah, there was this one where, it automatically closes the door and you've got like 5 minutes and then it's going to open up automatically and it's supposed to be self-cleaning, but I could smell and, feel like when I was walking across the floor, the sound of the sticking shoe coming up, that wasn't self-cleaning.
No.
That wasn't cleaned at all. It's a true story.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that could also be due to the Fringe Festival.
Yeah. I think, unfortunately, toilets are never going to be good around masses of people who are consuming alcohol and or junk food.
Junk food. Is there a gelato place there?
Yeah, there are a few gelato places, but nothing as special as Perth.
But did we go to one in Adelaide? I can't remember.
I actually can't remember, which makes me think that we didn't go because how would I forget gelato?
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Was there anything else exciting on that trip?
Where did we go?
My lovely, where did you go?
I can't think of anything.
Know.
Oh, we went to that dog exhibition.
Oh yeah, that was a cool little setup. I got to crawl through a man-made little tunnel, pretend I was a dog coming out the other side. That made me pretty happy.
And how long did we go for? Did we go for like a week or just a weekend?
I think it was a week. Yeah. So we lived together for about a month and then we went away for a week for a breather.
A breather. Oh boy. Already tired of living together.
It was like, it's a different environment when you're on a holiday. So I was just scared that there would be all this pressure and stuff. And I don't know if there especially was, but that's about the whole trip.
Well, that's what I can remember.
Yeah. Lots of food, relaxing in gardens and taking free buses.
Oh yeah.
And museums and galleries.
Is that the place that had the Zen garden?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty good. The gardens were good. Got a few good photos of you being happy.
Yeah. Probably the happiest photos were when I was in the library and when I was in the gardens. Lovely. Then we came back to Brisbane, and I can't remember the exact timeline, but with the two different family things. So one was there was a wedding reception, and it was a big deal for me to be at that first big family thing that I was able to go to.
You met quite a few people, which you probably didn't remember after that.
Yeah. How many people do you think were there?
You mean in total? Oh, I have no idea.
Hundreds?
I have a bad perception of the number of people in a...
I thought you were going to say you have a bad personality.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do. Probably like, I don't know, 200, 300, I don't know.
Lots of people. There were lots of people, and I met probably half of them.
I don't know about half.
A quarter of them?
Maybe.
A third of them?
Maybe.
I met a lot of people.
Yes, mostly family.
Yeah.
Well, my mom's side of the family.
Yeah. So that was very interesting and overwhelming. And then I think we discussed this on another one, but Jaja died. So that was my grandmother.
Your mom's mom? She
had always said that she was going to die at 96. I think she died one day before her 97th birthday. So she saw that coming. And so most of my family have not lived in the same town as me. And at that point, Jaja was living with my parents somewhere. And I think the funeral ended up being somewhere else. So the funeral was in Toowoomba, but they had moved away from Toowoomba at that point. Then it was your turn to be in a family situation where you're meeting all of these people that you probably didn't remember afterwards. And so many people coming up and saying, oh, we've heard about you. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't think I remember anyone.
It was kind of nice. I thought that there was the family photo presentation thing where there were lots of photos from over the years of different family things spanning the Solomon Islands, and then when they moved to New Zealand, and then when they came to Australia. So like there was another place as well. I'm pretty sure she lived on 4 different continents.
You mean
Jojo, not my mum.
What continents?
I don't know now. Well, different land masses anyway.
Yeah, Solomon Islands isn't a continent.
I know, but I don't know.
So either they stayed in North or South America or Asia or Europe or Africa.
I have no idea. Oh. We can't even look this up, I don't think.
Maybe one continent.
And several large islands.
Well, Australia is an island continent.
Is Australia the biggest island in the world?
Yeah, I would think so. To be considered a continent.
You're so annoying. Jessal's really annoying.
I can't do anything about that.
Anyway, so I guess it's pretty natural part of a relationship that if or when you are meeting the extended family, it would be something like a wedding or a funeral, or perhaps a cultural celebration that your family is involved with.
Cultural celebration? What sort of cultural celebration?
Like maybe Diwali or Easter, things like that. They're things that some families celebrate and other families don't.
I guess, yeah, Christmas thing that we went to.
Yeah. I've had a few different things like Christmas things in the meantime, not in the first year. What?
Bring us back.
Bringing us back to year 1, but it's year 2, and we're saying this from year 4.
So what was the next thing? Are we still talking about the funeral?
I don't think there's really anything to say about that, except that
we took a coach there.
There was actually a strict itinerary that my grandmother had already put together before she died of how long everybody was supposed to speak for, etc. And everybody, I think, used a bit more time than they were supposed to. And after a few hours, we had to catch our coach back to Brisbane because I had assumed that the funeral would be much shorter. And we had arranged to see a movie that evening with one of my friends back in Brisbane. That was with Jane.
Really?
It might have been Emma.
Oh,
If we had missed that coach, we would have had to wait for one of our relatives that was driving back to Brisbane and also have to cancel on my friend. All of that was prepaid, so would have lost all that money.
we had a good lunch there when we got there.
Nice pub lunch.
Well, it was a fancy pub lunch. It was a stone,
Stone Grill.
yeah,
Yeah, very fancy.
or pub. It's good.
Yeah. So then we came back to Brisbane and I think we were ready to let our hair down. And then the pandemic hit.
It sure did. Well, it hit Australia.
Yeah. So I think we can save the beginning of that for the next episode of what that did to or for our relationship, how it changed the circumstances of our living together. But for now, I think that's enough. You've been listening to Jessal and Paige on Paisal, a true rom-com. Don't forget to subscribe and share.
Why is my name first now?
I like to mix it up.
Okay, as long as it's not going to be a usual thing.
I feel selfish if I put my name first, but then I feel like you're uncomfortable with me putting your name first. So I like to alternate. It's about being balanced and just and fair.
No, but it's your podcast.
It's our podcast. It's
I
on
run
my
the
podcast channel,
Yes.
but it's our podcast series.
I'm a co-host,
Yes.
not the lead host.
Thanks for listening.